We are Nimble. Using the internet to subscribe and robotics to pick, we introduce dock-to-door grocery delivery to consumer.
Meet some of the people Nimble is built for. Jane is a single mother and working professional who struggles to find time for shopping. James works 60 hours a week and wishes grocery shopping was easier and more convenient. Helen and her family look to save time spent grocery shopping and desire a personalized experience. And finally, there's Adam, a senior citizen who wishes someone could bring those bags right to his doorstep. So, how does Nimble help people like them? Well, it's actually rather simple. You don't have to plan and budget your weekly essentials. Instead, you can put them on autopilot. You know, things like your milk, eggs, coffee, and cereal, just to name a few. Nimble's web and mobile applications allow users to easily subscribe and order a bunch of essentials and get them delivered periodically. Yes, it really is that simple. In addition, you can easily customize products in your bundle before each delivery by adding or removing items as you see fit. Once you have that, Nimble delivers those bundles right to your doorstep with the help of our delivery partners at ride-sharing services such as Uber and Lyft. So how does Nimble really help the customer? Well, orders are made in advance, ensuring customers don't face stockouts once they get to the store. Mundane tasks such as picking milk or eggs is completely eliminated. We also ensure the availability of basic food items in the face of sudden demand spikes. Nimble also allows you to relax and concentrate on other tasks while we do the work for you. And finally, you can cut down on that impulse spending during shopping trips. So how do we plan to grow our customer base? Well, Nimble offers things such as discounted prices, a smooth process for customizing bundles, and ease for pausing and restarting deliveries, just to name a few. And finally, core to Nimble's values are sustainability and social impact. Our process results in predictable demand and thus reduces food waste. We will also be using environmentally friendly materials for packaging and delivery. And finally, our lean supply chain and efficient fulfillment centers will further decrease food wastage.
As industry overview, major food product segments include fresh and frozen meat, beverages, fruit and vegetables, and dairy. Key external drivers include per capita disposable income, the agricultural price index, and newly, the number of mobile internet devices. Regarding the financial performance analysis of in-store and online grocery, speaking first to in-store grocery, weak growth in per capita income is a major reason for the low annualized growth rate and low profit margins the industry has experienced. The result has seen consumers seeking bargain prices and driving grocers to engage in price-based competition. Other factors that have had compounding effects include concern over rising wages and potential for employee unionization. Meanwhile, the online grocery sales industry is in a life cycle growth phase, and the prevalence of internet shopping has enticed new entrants to the industry. Largely supported by millennials below the age of 36, single and dual income households constitute a tech-savvy majority of this market share. Industrial revenue for online grocery delivery grew at an annualized rate of 24.1% between 2015 to 2020. This in contrast to the in-store grocery revenue, which itself grew at an annualized rate of 2.6% during the same period. Industry added value for online grocery delivery is forecast to increase at an annualized rate of 14.2% through 2025. As a point of comparison, US GDP is only anticipated to grow at an annualized rate of 1.9%. The average return on sales over the last 5 years for both industries have been 3.6% and 3.7% respectively. However, the major difference between these two industries can be seen in their CAGR. For online grocery delivery, that averaging around 56%, in contrast with in-store grocery that has averaged a mere 4.38%. The industry is moderately attractive with a lot of upside potential. Supplier power remains low while suppliers are unconcentrated, there being no threat of forward integration, and companies being able to quickly switch from supplier to supplier. Similarly, buyer power is low while buyers themselves are unconcentrated and purchases are in low volume. Threats of substitution and intensity of rivalry can both be categorized as moderate. This can be attributed to there being a limited number of players in the market, products being highly differentiated, all while market players are targeting the same general segments, although differentiating around target subset segments. The least attractive part of the industry is the high threat of new entrants. Due to low capital requirements, established players in the industry have the opportunity to capitalize on their brand's awareness to enter markets and set up distribution networks. Overall, we believe the industry demonstrates a high value opportunity for a disruptor with possibility for significant value capture. Strategically, Nimble faces a number of options, and to streamline the choice, we approach the topic with respect to trade-offs: control or execution, collaboration or competition. Following an IP strategy or an architectural strategy, though viable, would require control of the technology Nimble would be implementing. Instead, we opted to pursue an execution strategy. This we felt would give our idea a quicker inroads to the market. In choosing between collaboration or competition, we felt that Nimble would be best suited to start by following a disruption strategy. While focusing on a customer segment that is currently poorly served, we'll implement technology including subscription through mobile and internet-based applications, robotics in our pick-pack micro-fulfillment centers, QR code tracking, all while leveraging sharing economy driving services that will advance based on business input and iterative design. In approaching this task, we believe that there's opportunity to leverage local talent while we compete with incumbents that themselves are going to be slow to pivot from their existing business strategies. Our chosen customer segment includes a mix of both tech-savvy and non-tech-savvy individuals. While our focus is on the larger market, i.e. the pragmatists and conservatives, we intend to penetrate the market through the first 15%, the enthusiasts and the visionaries, by using digital and traditional channels such as e-marketing, SMS marketing, and direct mail. We believe that referral discounts and discounted prices will enable us to cross the chasm by enticing the pragmatists and conservatives that are performance-oriented and seeking monetary gains. As we revisit later in the presentation, the estimated annual value per customer starts at $108.93 per household. This provides us with an initial acquisition budget per household. Having introduced a number of customer segments that we believe we can deliver value for, we chose to focus on Canadian households with children as our target beachhead customer for 3 reasons: the representative market size relative to the Canadian population as a whole, for the ways that Nimble can address their specific pain points, and given the repeat grocery purchase rate for this customer demographic. Our SAM figures are based on households in urban centers with greater than 100,000 population and greater than 1,000 people per square kilometer. While we include households from a national perspective over the following slides, we'll focus our presentation on Toronto households as the serviceable available market that we would initially address. Drilling down to the serviceable obtainable market that comprises 5% of Toronto households, the following slides are based on the national average of Canadian households. Based on Stats Canada Census 2016 data, Canadian households are estimated in our calculations as having an average 2.9 people and spending an average $214 on grocery per person per month. From there, we illustrate the SOM annual grocery revenue, and we carry on to estimate that an initial 7.5% of annual grocery serves as a target subscription capture of our SOM family's grocery spend. Nimble is starting off with a target capture of 7.5% of our beachhead customers' annual grocery spend. This is just over $9 million of annual grocery revenue capture, which represents $175,000 of weekly grocery delivery to 16,333 Toronto households. In short, this represents $10.74 of household grocery that Nimble is aiming to capture each week. Given an annual household subscription cost of $65.50, we've amortized that cost over 52 weeks of deliveries to arrive at Nimble ultimately costing each household $12 per week. Saving time, effort, markup, and tip, which consumers regularly spend on competing grocery delivery services, Nimble is easily delivering $12 of value each week to each subscribed household. To explore our serviceable obtainable market in more depth, we next explore our delivery service requirements. 16,333 weekly deliveries being our initial target, providing deliveries 7 days a week, represents 2,333 deliveries daily. With 1074 of grocery, roughly a grocery bag of volume, to be delivered to each household, we're ascribing 16 deliveries to each delivery vehicle, pre-sorted by destination neighborhood for efficiency and QR coded for ease of guidance, all of which will require 146 vehicles to be dispatched daily. Operating 12 hours a day with dispatches outbound starting from 7 a.m. through 5 p.m. for our drivers to reach their neighborhoods during daylight hours, this will require 15 vehicles to be dispatched on an hourly basis. Our attention to deliveries and delivery efficiency ultimately comes down to delivery cost and delivery driver income opportunity. Providing $1.85 per delivery with each driver dispatched to a neighborhood to deliver 16 subscriptions represents $29.60 of revenue for each neighborhood that a driver delivers to. By comparison to Uber Eats estimates that for every successful delivery, a driver receives an average of $3 per delivery, for an average of $15 an hour at a cost of time to address non-parallel pickups across varied delivery neighborhoods. Nimble aims to compete with incumbent revenue opportunities by providing drivers with simultaneous pickups, pre-sorted by neighborhood, to maximize driver efficiency and time management, thereby maximizing hourly driver income opportunity. Ultimately, the cost of deliveries, based on the starting model, would net an annual delivery cost of $1.5 million. Having walked through the components of the revenue expense model, I'll now summarize the details provided. Focusing on 5% of Toronto households as an initial serviceable obtainable market, and vying for 7.5% of their annual grocery spend, represents $9 million in grocery revenue. Add to this the subscription revenue for those 16,000 households at $65.50 per household provides an additional $1 million of revenue. Factoring in the cost of goods sold by using a 75% COGS margin arrives at $6.8 million of grocery that Nimble will purchase in order to satisfy consumer demand. Further factor in the $1.5 million of delivery costs for delivery from dock to doorstep. This nets $1.7 million as the estimated annual operating margin, provided our assumptions thus far, the equivalent of $108.93 of operating margin value captured per household per year. The industry is in a growth phase, providing opportunity for revenues to increase. This in turn will support Nimble's net income and increase available cash flow from operations, further helping to attract cash flows from financing. That said, profit margins in the industry are not very promising, and to improve ROA, the strategic focus will need to be targeting continued improvement of our asset turnover. Lean operations using automated bundling in the micro-fulfillment centers and optimizing the delivery network will help to this effect. An increase in asset turnover will enhance ROA, while it also increases the margin between ROA and effective cost of debt. This can lead to better ROE as a result of positive leverage effects. As can be seen from the sensitivity table below, long-term focus will orient itself towards increasing sales and increasing the number of subscriptions, while volume helps to reduce our cost of goods sold. A 0.5% increase in SOM has the potential to provide a 92% increase in operating margin, this mainly as a result of operating and financial leverage working to our favor. Nimble's competitive position is focused on a narrow market with a low-cost strategy. Its strengths are one-stop shopping, time-efficient delivery, and lean operations with minimal overhead. Opportunities in this space include the prospect of expansion into new territories and other markets, and getting to offer fulfillment in the face of increasing demand. These opportunities eclipse the threats that Nimble faces from established brands and other players. Primary activities in Nimble's value chain include robust inbound logistics, operations based around robotics efficiencies, optimized outbound logistics, and marketing strategy and after-sales service, all working to empower Nimble to maximum margin. Overall, Nimble's competitive position is focused on low cost and being a narrow market provider. Coupled with the strength of being a unique service provider with efficient primary and well-coordinated support activities, Nimble strikes a competitive advantage compared to its direct competitors.
In mapping Nimble's journey, we allocated significant resources towards identifying potential risks and how we could leverage those as opportunities going forward. One risk the business faces is variability in grocery prices. Nimble faces this by working with several wholesalers with rolling long-term contracts on pricing, which helps reduce the impact of spikes in our cost of goods. To finance our business, Nimble will utilize various tranches of debt as well as venture capital funding. For more information on our financing, we invite you to explore our appendices. Sustainability is core to Nimble's values, and the business was designed bottom-up as a tool to help contribute toward a better society and physical environment. We do simple things like utilize 100% recycled packaging in our value chain. Fundamentally, our business model is designed to improve customer demand outlook helps reduce food waste. If Nimble were to capture 50% of customers' grocery spend from our current scenario of 7.5%, there is a potential to save customers up to 52 hours and almost 320,000 car trips annually to and from the grocery store, resulting in increased time for productivity or relaxation and significant reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. Beyond driving sustainability in our current business model, we at Nimble believe it is of utmost importance to commit to forward-looking sustainability goals. We can help demonstrate our values by becoming a certified B Corp and creating a sustainability framework in collaboration with our stakeholders. Now, as the business expands, we will work on initiatives to promote the electrification of vehicles used in our system and ensure that our management team is judged not only on the financials, but also on sustainability and the business's broader impact.
On behalf of all of us at Nimble, we thank you for your time and we look forward to your questions and your interest.